Welcome to This Explainer. We're diving straight into the massive divide between how you and I buy things on a daily basis and how giant organizations make their moves. Because honestly, whether you're pushing a simple cup of coffee or a multi-million-dollar software system, getting inside the buyer's head is literally the core of marketing.
To kick things off, let's contrast two totally different worlds. On one hand, you have the fast-paced, highly personal choice of an individual upgrading their smartphone. It's often an emotional choice, right? Driven by brand loyalty or just a really sleek design. Boom, purchased. Now, picture a university procurement committee slowly grinding through the purchase of 2,000 laptops. It is a multi-layered, highly rational process. They're sweating over software compatibility, warranties, and strict compliance rules. You absolutely cannot market to these two buyers using the same playbook.
So, here's our roadmap. We're going to look at the two different types of buyers: the consumer decision journey, social factors and post-purchase behavior, high-stakes business markets, inside the buying center, and finally, tailoring your strategy.
Okay, Section 1. Two different types of buyers, contrasting needs and scale.
As the saying goes, markets are made up of buyers, but not all buyers behave in the same way. You simply can't design an effective product, set a price, or write a killer message without intimately understanding exactly who is opening their wallet. Are they chasing a lifestyle and convenience, or are they poring over technical specifications and worrying about long-term risk?
Let's move to Section 2, the consumer decision journey, from need to post-purchase. So how does a regular person actually make a purchase? It usually follows this 5-stage sequence. It kicks off with need recognition. Think of a busy professional staring at another sad desk salad, suddenly realizing they need a better lunch option. Step 2, information search. They pull out their phone and start looking up meal delivery services. Step 3 is evaluation of alternatives, where they compare the menus, the prices, and delivery times. Step 4 is the actual purchase decision. They hit buy. But wait, the journey doesn't end there.
A marketer's job is absolutely not over at the checkout screen. Stage 5, post-purchase behavior, is everything. After the money is gone, the consumer evaluates if that product actually lived up to the hype. That single evaluation completely dictates if they will ever buy from you again, if they'll leave a glowing 5-star review, or if they'll warn everyone on the internet to stay away.
All right, Section 3. Social factors and post-purchase. What drives the consumer?
When we break down what actually pulls the strings during that journey, we see a mix of internal and external forces. Internally, you've got psychological drives. Say you're selling pet supplements. Don't assume the owner only cares about the price tag. They might be deeply motivated by an emotional attachment to their dog or terrified of future vet bills. Externally, you have massive social pressures. Family roles, reference groups, and cultural norms heavily influence whether a brand feels socially acceptable to us. You have to tap into both of these worlds.
Let's completely shift gears. Section 4. High-stakes business markets, the paradigm shift.
To really grasp B2B, you have to understand this foundational concept: derived demand. In the business world, demand doesn't just magically appear. It's a domino effect. A company only buys massive rolls of cardboard packaging if everyday consumers are out there actively buying their packaged cereal. If consumer demand dries up, the business demand evaporates instantly. They are intimately linked.
Here's where the sheer scale comes in. In consumer markets, you've got millions of buyers making small, sometimes emotional purchases. But B2B, you have way fewer buyers but massive transaction sizes. The stakes are incredibly high here. Losing just one corporate account can severely impact a supplier's total revenue for the entire year. That's exactly why B2B relies on formal, rigorous technical evaluations instead of late-night impulse buys.
Moving into the boardroom for Section 5. Inside the buying center, the boardroom ensemble.
Welcome to the buying center. In business, the buyer is rarely just one person with a company credit card. It's an entire web of individuals, spread across the organization, who all get a say in the final decision.
Think of it like a complex ensemble cast you have to win over. Say a hospital is buying new medical imaging equipment. You've got the users, like the doctors and nurses. You have influencers, like the biomedical engineers setting the technical specs. You've got buyers in procurement negotiating the price, deciders and approvers in admin watching the budget, and gatekeepers who control your access to all these people. As a marketer, you have to craft a specific, compelling message for every single one of those roles. Because the organizational consequences are so severe, B2B deciders and gatekeepers are fiercely risk-averse. They're constantly asking themselves questions like this. Think about it. If a consumer buys a bad sandwich, they have a bad lunch.
If a hospital procurement officer buys faulty equipment, lives are literally at risk and millions of dollars are wasted. So much of B2B marketing is just demonstrating rock-solid reliability and reducing that perceived risk. Now, not every corporate buy is a massive hurdle. You have to adapt based on the specific situation. A straight rebuy is comfortable. It's just a routine reorder of printer paper. A modified rebuy means they're shopping around for better specs or a lower price. But a new task purchase? That's a highly uncertain, brand new buy that requires intense research, heavy proposals, and absolute trust in you as the supplier.
Let's bring all this together. Section 6. Tailoring your marketing strategy, bridging the two worlds.
Ultimately, this is your cheat sheet. You must swap your tactics based on the audience. For consumers, lean heavily into mass media, emotional appeals, and broad brand image. But the second you cross into B2B territory, you have to trade those broad strokes for highly technical proposals, professional selling, deep risk reduction strategies, and a serious focus on long-term, trust-based relationships.
I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. The next time you find yourself navigating a complex purchasing decision in your own career, whether you are selling the solution or buying it, ask yourself, who are the hidden influencers and gatekeepers in the room? And exactly how are you mitigating their risk? Because understanding that dynamic is the true secret to mastering the market. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep looking for those hidden decision makers.